It's time for a winner's match. We will crown our third round of 8 player here at the SBENU Star League tonight. And we're going to have that match now between these two Protoss Titans. Stats looking incredible, and herO just able to edge parting out. We're going to watch herO versus Stats in the Protoss to Protoss. This is going to be one of the best matches you can ever find in the entire world. I mean, this is like some of the best, highest level PvP you'll probably ever find, ever.
That's pretty fair to say. Both these players are definitely at the top of their race. Stats' PvP looking a little bit cleaner, especially in that first match we saw tonight. herO, as you said, kind of edged through parting. Those games were always get kind of a little weird when you're playing against parting, so who knows for sure. This will probably be a much more straight-up macro game against these two guys.
I think so. I want to take a look at the vetoes really badly to see how herO, or rather not herO, Stats wants to approach this, because we saw herO actually try to take some shortcuts in that last series. He started things off with an in-base 2-gate proxy, then in game 3 he had a on-top of parting's base proxy. Or was that game 2?
That was game 2.
Game 2, right.
Yeah, but exactly right. Like, herO is being overly aggressive against parting, and let's see if he keeps that theme against someone like Stats, or will he actually just revert back to a more of a macro standard sort of game? We have seen a lot from herO in the past.
Yeah. I think anything is really possible here. herO looks confident, though. And, all right, so Stats bans Deadwing and Overgrowth, so he gets one of each, a big map and a small map. And then we've got herO banning out Cactus Valley. Cactus Valley going to be the most banned map in this tournament, most likely, because it's a new map.
Yeah, yeah. And Vani Research. Not a very popular map for Protoss players either.
No. So it's weird because of that backdoor base. Like, PP gets a little bit wonky for that.
Yeah, well, when you get like a War Prism going there, you can cause a lot of havoc.
It just kind of feels like when you play with backdoor expansions and PvPs, sometimes the builders get a bit rock, paper, scissors.
Sure. Yeah, I can agree with that. But we're going to start with King Sejong, so herO's hometown. That's going into Expedition Lost and Merry-Go-Round, so a bit more of the aggressive maps. We can see a lot of aggression on Expedition Lost with that backdoor ice being destructible, and obviously Merry-Go-Round, it's always going to be crazy on that map.
Proxy is really common. You know, the rush is not too far. Scouting on a Merry-Go-Round is really important because you can get lucky. You know, you can get unlucky with your scout as well.
3-player maps, man. It's always going to happen.
It's always going to happen. The winner of this best of 3 will move on to the round of 8. We're going to jump into game number 1 between Stats and herO right now. Top of the map in blue, a clean series to get here with Stats.
Bottom right, we do have a player that played a bit of a messy match in the last game. herO. Dirty match, no cleanliness there.
No. No, I finally understand the intro at the bottom. I was wondering why we had
little dude run up.
We had Hurricane and Lennox pictures at the bottom. Now Hurricane's emblem is actually looks like a whirlwind for obvious reasons, and then Lennox is like a 2-headed monster, which I'm still not 100% sure about. Someone explained it to me, but I didn't quite get it, so I need to look into that a little more. But it's an image of these are the 2 players who've been eliminated, and Lennox said that if he got eliminated early, there was a high chance he'd have to go back to Taiwan. That's why you see the Taiwanese flag on a Taiwanese-shaped silhouette, and his image being dropped off by a plane as if he's being sent back there. So that's actually very clever. I didn't realize it until now, and I feel like some people out there might not have seen it either. So I just want to point out how clever this is even more.
It's clever, but why is it showing during a herO versus Stats match is the next question.
I think it's showing all the eliminated players because at the end you could see all the silhouettes of the top 16, and then those 2 players, Hurricane and Lennox silhouettes are grayed out as if they've already been eliminated.
Okay, all right.
So
it's going to collect over the next few days.
Exactly. Like tomorrow, next Thursday, we'll probably have 4 players at the bottom, and then 6, and et cetera, et cetera.
Interesting. It's a pretty cool way they're adding stuff to this leagues.
Yeah, it's like a bit complicated until you get used to it, but I feel like As I start to figure this out, I'm liking it more and more.
Adding a bit more personality. I like it. And we are seeing a semi-proxy-ish, maybe not really kind of pylon. It's more to hide the pylon rather than, you know, really get anything done with it. It's going to force the force herO to kind of question what's on the map when he scouts the main base and sees no extra pylons.
Exactly. It's just really cool pylon. We've seen it kind of introduced into the Korean meta like over the last 6 months, because what this pylon does too is as you're scouting your natural for proxies, the timing works out really well for you to make that pylon with that probe, so you don't lose the mining time to send another probe. So everything lines up with it really well. So it's a really cool kind of strat.
Yeah, it just gives me some misinformation. You know, it's like, there's only one pylon in the main already.
Exactly. It's almost like a Makarax if you want to think like way back.
But instead of a Makarax, it's a Maka supply.
Yeah. And I don't know who did it first, so I can't name it like that.
No, we'll call it the herO pylon.
Okay.
Even though it's stats.
That's weird. Well, the herO probe does get warded out, and will eventually get picked off as there's no one to rescue him. Okay, here comes that Stalker, though. He probably actually saved it.
Should be able to save it, yeah. It's got a full HP at this point.
Twilight Council versus 2 more gates, 3-gate aggression.
3-gate aggression, yeah. There's going to be a lot of aggression coming from stats. I kind of like his position.
Yeah.
I like it a lot, actually. He's going to do a lot of work because there's going to be one gateway. And Mothership Core is currently out in the map. Imagine if that got picked off before it could do a photon overcharge. That's essentially his game right there.
Yeah. And this probe is in position to put a very forward pylon.
Or here comes the scary thing. This Mothership Core is actually scouting, which might exactly be why Stats went for this style. It's going to have to recall home if it wants to get home and do a photon. Wants to do anything. If it wants to defend at all, even with its normal attack, it has to recall back. It's not going to be back in time to defend with a photon overcharge anytime soon.
And he can't really harass the probes because the Mothership Core of Stats is at home ready to Nexus count that if need be, in case of an Oracle, for example, because he doesn't know.
Exactly.
All right, he's going to go for this pylon. No target on that probe, so that pylon will get up, which will grant high ground vision and additional warpins right inside the base. He's got a much larger Stalker count. A bit overzealous on that micro, but he's just got, in a numbers game here, the winning value.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter at this point. Warp Gate has finished for herO, so he can Warp Gate his gateway and maybe get out one extra Stalker. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. That is so many Stalkers from Stats already.
Yeah, even with a probe drill here, he's losing so many probes, 5 down already. And that's going to put Stats significantly ahead. Killing this pylon would be ideal, but not going to be able to do it. Here comes Sentry, but he gets carried down. The force field useless here, and here comes that Warpin on the high ground. And Stats is going to take a very easy, quick first game here.
Yeah, very clean game once again from Stats. This guy is on top of his PvP. It's a matter of time.
I actually feel personally that Stats is the best Frost in the world. I mean, he's been showing insane improvement in recent times.
Yeah, when it comes to PvP especially.
GG, Stats takes game number 1. This guy just knows every step of the way. He scouts, he protects his pro because he has this build in mind.
He's got just so in form right now, Wolf. Like, this guy, he's been performing so well in Casper Cup, in Pro League. You know, he's one of the big players for KT in Pro League, maybe one of the only players that consistently wins for that team. And he is making it look easy today against the best Protoss in the world.
And you know, the way he executed that, hiding the probe, having the Mothership Core at home just in case of any Oracles, checking for proxies, good scouting. This is not just, it was a build over when he had the advantage. It was like very well executed. I mean, yes, he did have the build over advantage, arguably. Actually, I don't even think you can argue that. He just did. But
it was like perfect sort of style against what herO had planned with the Mothership Core scout, with the 1-gate Twilight. Everything worked perfectly because the Mothership was so out of position. He didn't have enough Stalkers. He's